My name is Jack Kaufman. I'm with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and also with me today is John Nowak, the SEC. And Attorney Paul Batista is here on behalf of one of the defendants in this case, Paul Montel. Let me explain why we are here today. This is a deposition, which means that we'll be asking you questions under oath that are related to a lawsuit that is currently pending in federal district court. That lawsuit is against defendant Paul Montel, Carol Martino, and a company of hers, and several other defendants who actually have already settled with the government. As you're aware, you are not a defendant in the lawsuit, you're not a party to the lawsuit. The purpose of this deposition is to obtain information related to the SEC's claims against the defendants in the lawsuit. It is not to obtain information about any possible claim against you. There is no claim against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm going to talk about I may talk about several different companies during the course of the deposition that Mr. Montel and or Ms. Martino had some involvement with. Those companies are Viral Testing Systems Incorporated, which I'll sometimes refer to as VTS, Lone Star Casino Corporation, or LS Capital Corporation, which I'll sometimes refer to as Lone Star, and RMS Titanic Incorporated, which I'll refer to as Titanic. Now, you understand that even though you are not a party to this lawsuit, you are testifying today under oath.
Yes, I understand.
You understand that that means that you're to tell the truth, and you are subject to the same potential penalties that you would be if you were testifying at trial for failure to tell the truth.
Understand.
Okay. You also understand that you are entitled today to have an attorney present to represent you.
I understand.
And it is our understanding that you have decided not to appear with an attorney.
Correct. I saw no need for an attorney.
As I said, I'll be asking you a series of questions. I'll ask you to listen carefully to each question. We're not in any rush. Think about the question if you want, as long as you want, before you answer. If you don't understand it, if I need to speak up, if you don't hear it, let me know and I'll ask the question again, or if you need me to rephrase it, I'll be happy to do so. And as you have been doing, please continue to respond audibly. If you just nod your head, the court reporter won't pick up the answer. And if you need to take a break for any reason, let me know. I'd like to start off just by asking you some general questions about your background. To begin with, your education, starting with college.
I had no college. I had high school graduate, and then I attended the New York Institute of Finance for a year.
And what did you obtain some sort of degree or certificate?
No, well, it's like a certificate that the course was completed or something like that.
And
I went at night. I was working at the stock exchange at the time.
What is that certificate?
The course was working for the stock exchange and brokerage office procedure, as I recall. I mean, I was back in 1950.
And the purpose of that certificate was to train you or to learn information?
Right. Well, I was working on the floor of the stock exchange as a page boy. I mean, I was only a kid, and obviously, if you want to the future, you had to have a little more knowledge of the business.
Okay. And now your employment experience after high school?
I spent 5 years with the Toronto Dominion Bank. It's a Canadian bank, a New York agency.
Do you remember approximately when that was?
No, to be honest.
Okay.
I was with a firm called P.W. Brooks, so I left the Canadian bank believing there was no future for Americans working for a Canadian bank down here. Went with a very small brokerage firm, which is now out of business, called P.W. Brooks and Company.